So I'm Gavin Thompson.
I'm Christine Huffman.
My name is Joseph and I'm Gavin's roommate.
And this is the story of how we met. It all started like 8.5 months ago.
I started like 8 months ago.
When I got a Cool Whip jar of cookies.
When I made a Cool Whip jar of cookies.
On my front door. And I was like, got myself a secret admirer.
So, I was with my friends and they were making some cookies. And they were like, hey, do you want some cookies? And I was like, yeah. And write a note on there to my new roommate, Gavin. To Gavin, roses are red, violets are blue. Cookies are sweet, and so are you.
But then I was confused because I don't know anyone in Logan. Like, whatever. I'll figure it out. The next weekend I go home for the Super Bowl. So I went home and watched the Super Bowl with my family. And they were all like, did you check the bottom of the tub of cookies? Like, did you eat all the cookies and see what was underneath it? And I was like, well, no. And I was like, okay, fine. So I texted my roommate Joseph and I was like, yo, like check the bottom of the bucket of cookies to see if there's a note or something, like, hey, my name is Sarah and this is my number.
I was like, that is a great idea. So I took it back to my friends.
It was about 9 o'clock at night. I was just laying on my couch and I get this text and it was just like, dude, I'm so sorry. And I was like, what? And the picture like sent like a couple seconds after it. The bottom of the bucket, which I don't have, said like, meet me at Catfish at 7 o'clock on Friday. It was Super Bowl Sunday. So I just like stood this girl up. I was like, oh, I feel like just a total dweeb, I was like, oh, I feel so bad. I stood this girl up who made homemade cookies, put a lot of artistic effort into this whole thing.
Nobody except for me and the people who wrote the notes knew about this.
Probably half of Oak Ridge knows, and like all of my roommates know, all of my roommates' family know, all of my roommates' extended family.
And so I thought, how long could I keep this going, right? So I made another plate of cookies.
And then like 2 or 3 weeks since that tub of cookies showed up, I got another plate. It was just like a plate of cookies with saran wrap on them. And this, once again, roses are red, violets are blue, let's try this again next time at 2, Cafe Rio. But I was like, okay, cool. So like, Cafe Rio. And I was like, perfect, this girl likes Mexican food because I love Mexican food.
So I kind of felt bad standing him up. I thought it was just funny him standing her up. So I was like, what can I do to get this, make it better? And so I had the bright idea of making a mutual account.
I hadn't been dating for a while. I kind of had like a really gross breakup. My brother and I were talking and we're both like, we need to get back into dating, but like it's COVID times, we don't know anyone. So my brother and I make mutual accounts at the same time. We're just like swiping through. I see this guy and he's like wearing a suit and he's posed all dumb. He's like, right, whatever.
I was like, hey Gavin, my friend heard about this story with you and this cookie girl. She wants to know what you look like. Chink. And it was a pretty bad picture. I'm
like, he looks like a nerd. I don't know about this kid, but I try and give everyone a chance. Whatever, I swipe to the next one and it's a picture of this. And I'm like, what? So I click on the bio to see if there's any sort of like clue.
When I made the account, I put in the bio,
hey, this is Gavin's roommate. I've been pranking him for like 3-4 weeks now. He has no idea that it's me. Who wants to be his blind date on Friday?
There were like 20 girls who wanted to go on a date with this guy, on a blind date.
And I remember thinking like, this sounds like a great story. Like 100% I'm in. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. So I swipe up and I message his roommate. I'm like, this is chaos, I love it. His roommate's like, we still don't have anyone, you wanna be part of it? I'm like, yeah, for sure. You're not bullying him, right? Like you're friends with this kid. And he's like, oh yeah, we're like tight.
And we're super tight.
So I clear my schedule all Friday. I have nothing going on Friday anymore.
We're making arrangements to go on this date. I'm telling all my friends and family about it. And then I remember that I actually have a dentist appointment at 2.
And a couple days later, just a note shows up.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Oh crap, I forgot, I have a dentist appointment at 2. Meet me at 7 p.m.
And I was like, okay. I was expecting to watch my mission companion walk in with maybe like his brother or something because they're both here, and me to follow them in and be like, gotcha.
I like text the roommate, I'm like, hey, I can pretend to be crazy cookie stalker girl, but here's the problem. I have a conscience, it will kick in, and I'll have to tell him that I lied.
It was tempting to have her be stalker girl, but I thought it would just be better if they had an actual date. And so I was like, nah, I'll write you a note. All you have to do is show it to Gavin when he gets there, and he'll understand.
So I have the note, and I show show up at Cafe Rio. I'm sitting there. I text his roommate, what if he doesn't show up? Because it's like 5 minutes to and he's not there, right? I'm like, what if he doesn't show up? And then I'm pretty sure like immediately after I sent that text, Gavin walks in.
I was there about 15 minutes early, just like, oh, what if it's her? It's not. And then I watched her walk in, and she was wearing, this cardigan. And I was like, dang, she's kind of cute, And she like opens the door and sits down like at the closest table to the door, and I was like, nah, who does that? Like,
and he just like walks in and stands by the door. So I stand up and I walk over to him, and I'm like, Gavin? And he's just like, hey.
She was a crazy stalker chick. I was pretty set on going up until I realized that like there was actually a girl. She's like, I'm Christine. I was like, you already know my name. Like,
you did not say that.
No, I didn't say it, but
yeah,
I was like, you already know my name and where I live. And she's like, hey, I have a note for you. And she like kind of like presents her phone to me, and I read the first 3 words. And that's when I realized it was my roommate Joseph. And immediately I was just like, he got me. I immediately pulled out my phone and texted him. I was like, I hate you so much. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm like, hey, so we don't have to go on this date. And he's like, well, I don't have anything better to do.
It's a matter of
My brain was like, ouch. But actually fair. Like, it's understandable that he'd be upset.
Yeah,
he was really mad.
I was really grumpy.
But anyway, luckily the line was really long and it gave him time to kind of calm down. So he sits down, we start talking, we ended up staying for like 2 hours just chatting.
And I remember thinking, I was like, okay, cool, date's over. And I don't know if I like took a step away or it was like a mental step away, but I was like, I'm probably gonna regret not getting this girl's number. And so I used the smoothest pickup line in the history.
So smooth.
I said, give me your number.
He didn't even ask, he just said, give me your number.
Because I knew she had a great time too, So I got her number, and we basically talked like every single day since then. And then about 2.5 weeks ago, I proposed, and we're gonna get married November 26th. Happily ever after.